We are live. What is happening, boys and girls? How is everybody? As usual, at the beginning of a live, it's just me talking to myself. But I'm fine with that. Because we need to let the hypothetical room fill up, as always. Big Daddy Wellington in the hizzy. What's up, brother? I hope you're very, very well. Let's see. Let's see how many people are going to tune in today. We are going to be talking about the sleep when you are dead bullshit attitude that people have. People like me. That's how I used to be. Sleep when you're dead. Bree. Fucking hardest worker in the room and all that. Bree. So we're going to be talking about if that is doing you any good at all, or is it completely and utterly kicking you square in the dick when it comes to progress. I'll be telling you exactly why. I don't think I've done a live at this time for a long time. I normally do my live in the morning. Sleep when you're dead. Here's the thing. Listen. How many times have you said sleep when you're dead? How many times have you done the whole bullshit hard case? I'm going to be the hardest worker in the room. I'm going to go to bed. I don't go to bed until the work is done. This is the attitude. This is the reason why you find yourself in the situation that you are in right now. Sleep when you're dead. Not getting enough sleep is keeping you overweight. It's keeping you stressed out. It's keeping you narky. It's keeping you tired. And it's the reason that you are underperforming in all areas of your life right now. Here's the thing. We absolutely categorically know that from a physiological point of view, as in the body, we know that if you are under-recovered, we know that if you are tired, we know that if you haven't got 7 to 9 hours sleep, your body is going to metabolize fuel that little bit differently. We know that leptin and ghrelin are going to be all over the place. Leptin and ghrelin are two hormones which govern satiety and govern appetite. We know that they go like this in opposite directions. So we know that if you are chronically tired, if you are tired all the time, you are going to be making poor decisions nutritionally. You are going to be searching for the easy way out. You are going to be looking for the easy option all the time, and the easy option generally is the shittest one as well. So not only have we got that, you are not going to metabolize fuel the way that you're supposed to. This is why if you are continually working night shifts, it's not particularly great. We're supposed to be asleep at night. We're supposed to be awake in the day. Our bodies function where we're kind of supposed to be. I know this because I work nights for years. So we know that physiologically, you're not going to handle nutrients very, very well. We know that physiologically, this is why we are going to put on a little bit of weight. Bad decisions, bad decision-making process leads to poor quality choices, leads to 300-400 calories a day extra. So that's the physiological side. We also know that when you are tired, your decision-making ability, your ability to decipher a situation is impaired. Which means that, you know, when you wake up in the morning and you're very, very narky because you haven't slept very well, and you just, everything that anybody says makes you want to fucking tear their head clean off their shoulders. That's why. Because you're tired. When you are asleep, your brain is repairing itself. It's creating new pathways. Your brain heals overnight. Your brain gets battered all day and it heals overnight. If you don't give yourself enough time for your brain to heal and do what it does and regenerate and recuperate overnight, your temper is going to be very, very short the next day. It's like when you get up in the morning and you kind of can't really get your head around things that you're trying to read. It's because your brain's going la, 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 la. So one of the things which I like to focus on with my VIP one-to-one clients, one of the initial things, we zoom completely out and we look at their lifestyle as a whole and we look at areas that we can improve. Sleep optimization is one of the key areas that I look at when I'm working with my high-performing clients. If I can help my clients perform 15, 20, 30% better through continually optimizing their sleep, can you imagine the progress that they are going to make? One of the most common issues I see when it comes to improving someone's sleep is their regularity, is the time that they go to bed and the time that they get up is all over the place. All over the place. So one of the first things we look at doing is implementing some kind of structure, some kind of routine. Go to bed at the same time every day. Get up at the same time every day. Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every single day, get up at the same time. Even if you're not in work, even if you don't necessarily have to get up, get up. It will pay you back in dividends. It will massively benefit you. The second thing, so we've got regularity all over the place. Sometimes you go to bed at 10, 11, 12, 1, then you're not getting enough sleep. Your sleep opportunity does this. If you're not getting 7 to 9 hours, and just because you're in bed for 7 hours doesn't mean that you've got the opportunity to sleep for 7 hours. You've got to drift off. You're going to start to stare in the morning. So we've got regularity. Of all the people I talk to, Mr. Povey, what's going on, brother? This is the thing. Tell me if this is you. Not you, Alex. Tell me if this is you. On one hand, you say that you don't sleep very well. On one hand, you continue to say, oh, I'm a shit sleeper, I'm a shit sleeper. On the other hand, you're on your phone, scrolling through it, trying to get to sleep. You are exposing yourself to light. Get the sleep right and it all falls into place. Absolutely, man. It's a real, I don't want to say obsession of mine, but it's a real area of interest for me. Sleep. And optimizing your sleep. So you spend the time you're trying to get to sleep staring at your phone. So we've got the blue light coming out the phone. The blue light, any form of light pollution going into your brain is going to inhibit the production of melatonin. Melatonin, as it builds up in our brains, is what sends us off to a nice sleep. Because we are governed by the light and the dark cycle. When it's dark, melatonin gets secreted. When it's light, it doesn't. So if you expose yourself, and I'm just pointing at this light, like you can see where it is. If you expose yourself to light before you go to bed, you are going to inhibit your body's ability to actually fall asleep. So one of the things that I like to do with clients, and I'll tell you what I do with myself, 8 o'clock at night, phone fucking away. Gone. Don't get me wrong, if my kids message me, I'm not going to fucking ignore them. But I don't spend any time on the phone. I leave it alone. The lights in the house, as much as humanly possible, we just use lamps. We don't use the big light. We don't use that light because we're trying to keep the light levels down just a little tiny bit. I do it from 8 o'clock at night. You can do it at least 60 minutes before you go to bed. Reduce all the light you possibly can. iPads, phones, TVs where possible. Even if you've got a blue light filter, you're still stimulating, you're still inhibiting the melatonin getting released from your brain, which is going to stop you going to sleep. So we've got regularity. We've got no screen time. Then we're going to look at, which sounds counterproductive, have a bath. In the time leading up to when you go to bed, have a bath. The idea of this, having a hot bath, is to bring your body temperature down. Which sounds ridiculous. It's like, fucking hot bath. What are you talking about? When you get in the bath and your skin goes all red, that is your body pushing the blood out to the skin to kind of maintain your body's core temperature. Which means when you get out of the bath and you get dry, there's a lot of blood in your skin, which is now going to go from hot to cold. So it cools your temperature down. We need the body to drop its internal temperature by a couple of degrees for us to go to sleep, which is why we look at the temperature of the bedroom. I think it's about 18 degrees centigrade is the ideal temperature for you to sleep in. I've got a thermometer in my bedroom because I'm a gimp. So we've got regularity. We've got no screen time. We've got cooling down the environment. I'm just getting... Jeez, mate. Listen, if anybody's got any questions whilst I am getting rid of these notifications... Regularity. I apologise. I'm in demand. Regularity. No screen time. Body temperature. Here's the thing. Something I never thought that I would do. I stop eating at 7 o'clock at night. I stop eating 2.5 to 3 hours before I go to bed. Now, I was always a fan of having a meal just before I go to bed. Always. For fucking years. For years. It's funny that I was overweight, fat, miserable, tired and stressed out. But anyway, this is the thing. When you have food digesting in your stomach, when you have stuff churning up and down, it's going to affect the quality of your sleep. Therefore, if you can go to bed not hungry, because being hungry, as I know from being a competitive bodybuilder, being hungry all the time, you don't sleep. You don't sleep because your brain's going, there's a Snickers in the fridge. Your brain's always putting tricks on you. So if you go to bed hungry, it's going to keep you awake. If you go to bed with food churning around in your stomach, that's also going to keep you awake. It sounds like this is a lot to do. It sounds like there's a lot of shit to do just so you can get a good night's sleep. But believe me, the benefits of having regular quality sleep, it's got to be the most underutilized performance-enhancing activity. I was going to say substance then. Performance-enhancing activity that you can possibly do. People spend hundreds of pounds every single month on supplements, on things, on shiny things that to try and help you perform, whilst getting about 4 hours kip a night. So it's counterproductive. So if you get a good sleep, the whole sleep when you're dead, it's kind of crazy because we know that short sleepers, people who don't get enough sleep, they have a shorter fucking lifespan. So sleep when you're dead is actually killing you to death. So we've got regularity, we've got screen time, we've got body temperature, we've got reducing your food intake before you go to bed. Caffeine, baby. Caffeine, the number one drug that everyone is addicted to. Me. I have way too much caffeine in the mornings. But I've curbed it. I've brought it down because we know the half-life of caffeine is about 6 hours. The quarter life is about 12 hours. I.e., if you have 4 cups of coffee in the morning, 12 hours later, it's the equivalent of having a cup of coffee before you go to bed. Which is why I've cut down to 2 cups of coffee. So reducing your caffeine, getting rid of your caffeine after about noon is going to literally change your life. Now, there are probably people watching this video now that go, oh, caffeine doesn't affect me. I can have coffee before I go to bed. Doesn't matter. Just because you can't physiologically feel that it's doing you any damage. You are not getting enough sleep. You're not. Just because you think you are a caffeine, you think you are a caffeine non-responder. Just because you think you're a caffeine non-responder, just because you can't feel it, physiologically, it's stopping you get to sleep. Hopefully, that's helped. Hopefully, it's given you something to think about. It's a huge area of interest for me. It's a huge area of influence that I have with my executive clients to help them get a better sleep, to help them, give them the ability to make better decisions, both personally and in business. If you want to talk to me about how I can help you, shoot me a message and we'll have a conversation. Always a pleasure, never a chore.